Thanks for joining our monthly community webcast. I am Jürgen Kress, part of the Oracle product management team to support you as a partner. In case you missed one of our webcasts, on-demand recordings are available. For details, please see our monthly community newsletter and subscribe to our Video Hub partner channel. In today's presentation, Arvind will present B2B, which is part of Oracle Integration. Good morning, Arvind.
Good morning, Arvind.
Thanks for joining. Objective of today's webcast is to introduce the B2B functionality of Oracle Integration, which combines application and multi-enterprise integration in the same platform. Please feel free to post your questions via the conference Q&A tool or Twitter #PassCommunity. We will start the presentation with the latest community updates. Arvind will dive into B2B, including a demo. We will wrap up the presentation with a call to action and answer your questions. So let's get started. To start the new fiscal year, we put together 4 steps to accelerate our joint business. Watch the on-demand launch webcast, the platform webcast, and the Connect and Innovate SaaS webcast. Access our sales kits, attend a hands-on training, and join the communities. In case you missed it, the webcast with Suhas Ulia to Connect, Innovate, and Extend SaaS is available on demand. Make sure that you watch it, including some really nice demos. For the partners in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, we recorded the webcast with Marta and Fleck. The webcast is focused on the cloud platform. It's also available on demand. You as a partner can use the same sales kits that we use Oracle internal to train our team. Access the sales kit at salescentral.oracle.com. Make sure you get the Oracle Integration and Digital Assistant sales kits to train your team. The kits support you throughout the whole sales cycle. The battle card, the elevator pitch with a call script, demos and free trials to build proof of concepts and demo the software, customer presentations in PowerPoint format, and to prove the value, a customer presentation and success stories. Please visit salescentral.oracle.com. If you log into the website, you can choose from the left side the different product areas and services from the whole Oracle portfolio. Make sure you choose Oracle Integration and Digital Assistant. I would like to highlight from the sales kits the elevator pitch, the battle card, and the customer presentation in PowerPoint format. We launched a new newsletter for Oracle Integration customers. This newsletter is distributed by the product management team. Please subscribe, read the spring edition, and share your content, success stories, best practice, and technical blog posts for the summer edition. The easiest way is to share them via Twitter #PassCommunity. We also would like to invite you to attend one of our hands-on trainings. Upcoming schedules include the US and Canada and India in August. For details and registration and future events throughout the whole calendar year, please see the community newsletter. You can join the community newsletter to receive the monthly updates, get invited to our webcast, and collaborate via the Slack channel. Today's presentation is recorded. Please visit Video Hub, the Oracle page, to watch on-demand videos, to view previous editions, and download the presentation. With this short introduction, I would like to hand over to Arvind. Arvind, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Jürgen. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are across the globe. As part of the webcast today, we will walk through some of the B2B capabilities as part of Oracle Integration. So I'll be joined by Sunil Apte. Sunil leads up all of development for B2B as part of Oracle Integration. So he's available for any questions you may have that you may want to post on the Q&A channel as well. We'll also be joined by Garrett Minakawa, who he heads up product management for in the Fusion team for CMK specifically. The agenda today, we will actually walk through an introduction to B2B and how we support B2B capabilities as part of Oracle Integration. We will follow that up with a demonstration. We will walk through an end-to-end use case of how you would be able to design a B2B flow and generate a transaction and send it to your trading partner in the context of supporting these transactions. We will end the presentation with an overview and a summary to recap some of the things that we went through. And finally, we will do Q&A for any open questions at that time. So let's get started. So as part of the introduction, let's look at what is B2B. B2B is fundamentally multi-enterprise collaboration. So this could be integrations that you will need to support with your trading partners. And your trading partners could be customers, suppliers, vendors, business partners, whoever they may be. And typically B2B exchanges are done through EDI standards or B2B standards, such as EDI X12, UN EDIFACT, but they could also be done through other custom transactions like XML-based schemas and such. As part of B2B, you will also have business protocols or technical adapters to exchange information over the internet with your trading partners, such as AS2 or Secure FTP are commonly used patterns. With Oracle integration and B2B capabilities, we support the ability for these common standards. We support some of the adapters that you will need to design and implement your B2B exchanges. And we also enable you and support a schema editor that is web-based that enables you to create custom B2B transactions. Most times, your trading partners will need to have custom requirements around how these transactions need to be structured. They may have customizations, specific needs around how the data needs to be sent. So we enable you and we provide the flexibility for designing that with our schema editor. And we'll look at that as part of the demo today. The last two capabilities really talk about persona-based support. Onboarding trading partners is a task that is typically handled by B2B users or even business analysts in your organizations. So we have simplified the onboarding of trading partners without requiring an integration expert in your company. So we will look at how we will do that. And finally, once your transactions are live and they're going through the system, how do you actually track them? How do you see what is failing, what is succeeding? With the business and wire message-based operational views that we support now, we'll see how a B2B operator can support these transactions. Before we go into the demo, some of the common capabilities that we have added as part of Oracle integration. So previously, we have supported some of the core functionality that you needed to process B2B transactions. So being able to handle inbound and outbound EDI flows or B2B flows, we have added a B2B action to Oracle integration that enables you to handle a number of complex B2B operations at runtime. This including EDI Translate, which enables you to look at EDI formats that are coming in from your trading partner and converting them into application formats, and vice versa for outbound, where you would be able to generate application format data and then send to your trading partner and convert them into X12 or EDIFACT style documents that your trading partners need with outbound translation. The schema editor and document editor, which we talked about, is where you would customize your schemas and be able to use them in transactions and documents across trading partners. So you can define ones and use it multiple times, and we'll see how we would do that. And finally, we also enable you to handle connections through AS2, FTP, and other capabilities that are available as part of Oracle integration, including file server. So if you're looking to have server and client-side FTP capabilities, you would be able to leverage file server as well as the FTP and AS2 adapters as part of creating your B2B flows. With the May release, we have added a number of new capabilities. We have added transport support to the trading partner management. And this enables you to now create transports as well as agreements as part of the trading partner module, which simplifies what you would need to do to onboard your trading partner. With that capability, we have also made the creation of the B2B integrations automatic. So the actual B2B flows for AS2 or inbound for both directions, inbound and outbound, are now auto-created by Oracle integration, which means that all you need to do is onboard your trading partner. The transaction flows will be, or the integrations themselves would be created behind the scenes automatically. Obviously, you have the ability to customize them if you need to, and we will look at that as part of the demo today. And finally, we have also added support for EDIFACT style transactions. So now if you have X12 or EDIFACT across the globe, you would be able to design and use them as part of Oracle integration. So with that, let's go into the product and we look at a demo. As part of the demo, let's look at the use case that we will be using to make sure that we cover the synopsis. So the use case that we will be looking at is from the context of Global Chips. Global Chips is the company that is using Oracle integration and the B2B capabilities as part of Oracle integration. And the use case we will be creating, we'll be designing this flow and running it as part of the demo today, is Global Chips being able to handle outbound purchase orders in EDI X12 850, which is a purchase order standard for EX12, with their trading partner. The trading partner in this case is ABC Distribution. And ABC Distribution is the supplier for Global Chips, and Global Chips is looking to send orders for ABC Distribution. The setup itself that Global Chips has, so the customer is using Oracle ERP Cloud, and we will be using the collaboration messaging capabilities to generate the actual purchase order from the backend, which will be processed by Oracle integration. We're using a backend application integration. And once that processing is complete, we will send that transaction out in the EDI X12 format over AS2 to ABC Distribution. And so for the EDI X12 850, we will see how we would create an agreement. For the AS2, we will see how we will create a transport. And finally, as part of the overall orchestration, we will look at a couple more steps. We will see how you can set up to receive a functional acknowledgement from your trading partner and receive that particular transaction. So we will see how we could set that up with Oracle integration. And we will also see how we can set up the flow to handle inbound MDNs. And an MDN is another acknowledgement at the transport level, which enables you to handle incoming acknowledgements at the transport level from your trading partner. So this is the overall flow. With that said, let's actually go to the product and go through the demo. So hopefully you're able to see my screen. So this is the Oracle integration homepage. And if you're familiar with that, we have added B2B in two different areas. So as part of the demo today, we will focus on the design time first, and then we will go through the runtime once we initiate a particular transaction. So the design time capabilities of B2B is located here in the left panel here. And within this, you will see a number of the different features that we have added to help you set up and support B2B transactions and with your trading partners. So we'll walk through each of them, and we will set up our trading partner as part of the demo now. So the first part that I wanted to walk through and cover is primarily what is called the host profile. A host profile is where you would define the identifiers that you want to use as part of your setup with your trading partner. So these are identifiers that you will want to use with your trading partners, such as interchange IDs, group identifiers, AS2 identifiers. So you will be able to define them here. And this particular information that you define here will be used as part of the onboarding process, as well as part of the runtime when you receive transactions. Now, one of the things you are able to do here is you can have multiple AS2 identifiers, multiple interchange IDs, groups that is set up here, especially if you have multiple lines of businesses handling transactions with the same Oracle integration instance. You would be able to handle these, you would be able to set them up and use the appropriate ones as part of each trading partner that you want to set up. One of the other things here, especially if you are looking at going through testing and stage and in production, this information itself, we do provide import and export capabilities for the trading partners. When you import and export to your trading partner, the associated identifiers for the host profile is also imported and exported with you. So with that, so you don't need to handle it separately or manually. With a lot of the capabilities that you see here, what I have done for the demo is I've set up the group IDs and the interchange IDs for Global Chips. So I have ZZ, which is mutually defined, and some of the IDs and the AS2 and the EDI IDs that are already defined here. Now you only need to define it once for your company, and for each of the trading partner, you will be leveraging it, and we'll see how we would be able to do that as we go through the demo. The B2B schemas is the next part that I wanted to cover. So with Oracle integration, we provide out-of-the-box standard support for X12 and ADFAC. What it means is that you will be able to design and create custom schemas if needed. Now, this is an optional step if you do not have customization needs, and if you want to use the general standards that are available for EDI or B2B, then you would be able to just leverage that. But if you have customization needs, then you would be able to set that up here. There's a few capabilities that we cover here, and I'll come back and talk through some of these. Let's look at some of the core capabilities here. With the schema generation, we support Edifact as well as X12 here. So with Edifact, we support document versions all the way from, I think, 1996 till 2020. So if you have older trading partners using older versions, then you would be able to leverage that. You would be able to set up. For each of the document versions that are supported in the standard, we provide document support or document types for all of them. So you can see all of them. So if I look for orders within Edifact, so you can see purchase orders, you can find the right version, find the right document, and you would be able to set it up. For X12, we support document versions from 4010 to 8010. And again, like with Edifact, we support all the document types that the standard supports. So you'd be able to select the appropriate version. And if you have trading partners or customers that you're looking to support that need older document versions like 3010, for instance, then please do let us know. That is something we are able to add. So for this particular use case, I'm going to set up an order and I'm going to select an 850. So let's go ahead and name this. So let's say X12 POs with suppliers. So this is the base schema that I'm defining. The identifier is automatically created. I have my document standard X12, document version 4010, my document type 850 that has all been created. So I'm going to go ahead and create this. Now, at this point, the standard is already available out of the box with Oracle integration. And you are now taken to the screen where you can see the structure of the 850 standard in the product. At this point, you are able to do a number of things with the schema design and development functionality that we provide. You are able to customize it based on implementation guidelines that are provided by your trading partner. So let's say that I want to be able to remove this particular segment. I can come in and say, I want to delete this. If I want to customize, let's say, a sub-element or even an element, then you would be able to do that as well. So for each of the items that you will see, you can see the pencil icon here, and that is going to take you into the particular element that you would be able to change. So here I can say that I want to make something optional. I want to make something mandatory, something conditional. If I want to change the minimum and max lengths for a particular field, I would be able to do that. I can change the repetition. So there's a lot of flexibility in what you would be able to do in the context of customizing and personalizing your schema itself. Other thing that we provide is the ability to handle codeless. So if in most of the situations that you may have with your customers, you may have custom code lists that you want to bring into the product and define that in the context of Oracle integration. So we enable you to import code list from a CSV. You can also remove items from here so that you can enforce this. All the changes that you would actually do here is enforced at the validation. So when you set up when we set up an agreement, we will actually walk through it where you can enforce the validation checks on the context for a particular transaction. Based on the underlying schema that is used, Oracle integration will automatically enforce validation checks for that particular transaction. Now, if the schema is set up where a particular element is mandatory, but you are not being able to, the trading partner did not send that, then we will fail that transaction and we will give you an error message which says that the validation check has failed, which would mean that the trading partner can correct it and send it back to you. Alternatively, if you do not want to do validation checks, you can turn that off with a simple checkbox with Oracle integration as well. So with X12, the other thing you can do here is to be able to generate an implementation guide. In most cases, when you're defining a schema or a standard, you're sharing that schema or a standard with your trading partner to say, this is how I'm going to be sending transactions or receiving transactions. And here is how I would like you to set up your end of the transaction, right? Or your end of the integration. So for X12, you can generate an implementation guide in a PDF format and send it to your trading partner, which makes it easier for them to see it and set it up on their side. So we made a couple of small changes here. So I'm going to go ahead and save this particular schema. The same thing that we walked through for X12 applies to EDIFACT as well. So you would be able to do that for any of the EDIFACT schemas or any of the EDIFACT transactions that you want to set up. Now, I know that creating a schema from scratch and handcrafting it could be pretty difficult. If your trading partner is able to support standard exchange format files, then you can get that from your partner and import that directly into the system, which means we will create the schema in that particular format for your trading partner, which means you don't have to handcraft them at all. But this only applies if your partner is able to support SEF formats from their tool. So let's look at documents. Now that I have created a schema, I'm now able to handle transactions in that particular format and use that in the overall flow. And so a document is something that you can define for a particular transaction set, or even a document type per trading partner. So you have flexibility in how you want to create this. If for certain trading partners, you may want to track certain details, certain formats, and you may want to create a document type per trading partner. In some cases, you may say that for all the orders that I'm getting from all of my trading partners, I want to create one document type. So once my schema is defined, I'm ready to kind of create my document. So I'm going to go ahead and create POs with suppliers. I'm going to say POs with ABC. So ABC distribution is my trading partner. So I'm going to create a document for that. I can say the base format that I want to use is X12, 4010, and the base standard that I want to use is orders, 850, right? So now I have created that. Here, you have the ability to select a standard schema that you want to use, or you can select a customized schema. So in this case, I'm going to create my customized schema. Now, if you do not have a customization need for your schema and you are only using the standard, then all you need to do is select the standard here. You do not have to even go to the schemas area of the product. The standard will automatically work for you. So here I've created, I've selected the custom schema that we just created. And now I'm ready to go through the next setup here. The other capability that we provide within documents is business identifiers. The business identifiers enables you to define or pick out certain pieces of metadata from the actual transaction itself that could be useful at an operational runtime. So here I'm going to select, let's select the purchase order number. Okay, so BG03 is my purchase order number. I'm selecting that, and this information is going to be something that is going to be pulled out and shown to me during the actual transaction flow. So you are able to set up 1 to 3 transactions, 1 to 3 business identifiers per document, so which will be all picked up during runtime. So I have a base document that is created with X12 purchase order. I have my schema, I have my documents. We also set up our host profile. Now we are ready to actually go through and onboard our trading partner. So some of our prerequisites are already done. So here I've already started my trading partner ABC distribution, and this is the order. This is the partner for which we will generate the order. So within the trading partner mode, we have created, there's a number of things that are available to you to add. So the first one is being able to name and provide primary information for your partner. So you can see ABC distribution as well as the identifier that was created. You can also set up contacts for your trading partners. So you can say, have emails, phone numbers, other details that you want to set up for your trading partner. So I'm going to say ops@abc.com. So this could be a distribution list that I want to notify in case I have issues during runtime. So if our order fails and invoice fails and I want to reach out to my trading partner, this area here makes it easier for your operational users to get the information on who to contact if something goes wrong. B2B identifiers enables you to look at or set up identifiers for your trading partner. So remember, we already set up the host side of the identifiers. This is for your trading partner. So you will be able to define for each trading partner you onboard, you will be able to set up a set of identifiers in the product that enables you to use them as part of the runtime. The data that you set up here will be used at runtime for us to dynamically identify the transaction we received and which partner it belongs to. So for this particular partner, ABC Distribution, I have set up my IDs. I have set up Acme, which is a line of business, and the various details I would need. So I have qualifiers, IDs, all set up. I also have an application partner ID that is set up. So the application partner ID is how I identify the transaction that is coming in when the data comes in from the backend system. So this is the unique identifier from my ERP that I'm using to say when I get a data or when I get a transaction from my app, it belongs to this partner, which is ABC Distribution. And so now I have my identifier set up. Let's go look at the transport and the agreement. So this is the main or a key area for setting up your trading partner. And we will start with the transport, and we will end with the agreements as part of the onboarding process. So within transport, what you're defining essentially is the ability for you to set up and on how the data needs to be exchanged with your trading partner. So let's go ahead and add one. So we support AS2 or FTP as options with your trading partner. Both are very similar in nature. For the demo purposes today, we will use AS2. So I'm going to do AS2 with ABC. The primary information is essentially the naming of the transport. You can select which connection you want to use. If you want to set up a new connection, you can hit the plus icon there. You can say, I want to set up an AS2 adapter. This is going to take you directly into the connections page. You can set up a new connection as part of the overall flow there. In the interest of time, as part of the demo, I have already set up my connection. So I'm going to select the connection, AS2 connection that I've set up. And you can then select the identifiers that you want to use. The AS2 to and from identifiers is what is used at the header levels to identify which partner is sending me this particular transaction. So I've selected the AS2 IDs for Acme and Global Ships. Again, these are the IDs that we defined in the host profile and the trading partner's B2B identifiers. So all you need to do is drop down and select them. And if you have multiple AS2s or multiple FTPs, you would be able to do the same thing with them. The receive properties enables you to define on how you'd want to receive AS2 transactions or exchanges with your partners. For instance, if you do not want to validate AS2 headers, then you would be able to specify that here. I'm not going to make any changes here, but let's look at the send. The send has a number of different properties on how you want to be able to send your transactions to your trading partner. So you can specify your subject, you can change your content type based on the type of data that you're sending. The packaging options enables you to sign or encrypt or compress. The certificates that are used for this is maintained in the certificate manager. And you can also specify how you want to handle your MDNs. So I'm using a sync MDN as part of the setup here. And finally, like we talked about, the integrations are automatically created with B2B now. So you can just say, okay, I'm going to say AS2 with B2B. AS2 with ABC, and I am ready to add my transport. So my transport is now added. It is not deployed, and let's quickly go through an agreement inbound and outbound, and we will onboard REST and run transaction. So for inbound agreement, select an outbound agreement. This is all the data that you want to receive from part. So here I have created for your inbound agreement, you can specify how or which backend application or backend integration needs to process this data. So you can specify a backend application integration or select them. And you also be able to configure any other set. So for instance, duplicate checks, being able to handle, and then enabling other validations that you want to do. So that's kind of an example of an inbound agreement. For the demo today, we actually set up so let's say this is the schema that you just created, and I'm going to select that as part of the setup here. So, and the identifiers, I'm selecting the identifiers that we set up already in our host and partner profile. So I've selected the group IDs, group qualifiers, interchange IDs, interchange qualifiers. And the same for my host. I'm selecting all the and that's all. And finally, I can tell the system how do I want to send this transact or data, and I'm going to say enable validations as well as generate and request a functional acknowledgement as part of the flow. So now we have our transport and our outbound agreement created. One thing I wanted to show you is the integrations that are supporting it behind the scenes. So now if I go to the integration screen in the same instance, you can see that when I onboarded or created my transport, my integrations were automatically created. My AS2 send for is a very simplistic integration, which gets the payload from my backend app integration and loops through and processes that to my trading partner. My AS2 receive is slightly more complicated because I can send or receive various types of transactions. So I can receive MDNs, function acknowledgements, business messages, or other payloads through this particular AS2 connection. So all of that is handled through this base integration that is automatically created. Now, an automatic integration is created per transaction or per transport, and which means you can go ahead and customize them if you wish to do so. Finally, I wanted to show you the backend integration. So this is the backend application integration that we are using to get the data from the ERP cloud using collaboration messaging. So that's going to be the one generating the purchase order for us. And we are getting all the data that we need, and then here we are doing the mapping from the application format to the EDI or the B2B format. So if I go ahead and expand this, you can see the mapping has been completed. And we are also kind of getting the data, the application ID from the ERP side. So the backend integration is set up. My B2B integrations are already created automatically. And now I am ready to activate this. So let's go ahead and deploy our transport first. And while that is deploying, let's go ahead and deploy our outbound agreement. So now I can see that my outbound agreement is deployed. My transport is also now deployed. Now, if I go back to the integrations screen, and you can see that when I deployed my transport, my base integrations that were automatically created were also deployed and active now. So at this point, we are now ready to receive the transaction from the system. So let's go ahead and generate a purchase order. So first, I wanted to show you, let me refresh my screen quickly. The first thing I wanted to show you is in the context of, so we do already have a supplier that is set up with collaboration messaging. So let's quickly see that, and then we'll come back and create a purchase order. So under collaboration messaging, we already have a supplier that is set up. If I go here, so if I go in and I see ABC, let's go ahead and search. So I can see that ABC distribution is already set up in my as a supplier in collaboration messaging. So let's go ahead and create a purchase order and process that through Oracle integration to our trading partner. So let's go ahead and create an order. And I'm going to say the supplier that I want to use is ABC distribution. So this data is coming from CMK. This is a supplier that I want to use. I'm going to create this particular order. So while this order is getting created, so we are going to be listening to this B2B purchase order event from CMK, and that is what is going to be processed downstream. So I'm going to go ahead and add a line item to this particular order. So let's just say laptops. If you know the item number, you can obviously search for it. I'm going to do computer supplies. Let's say that we want to order 10 laptops and a unit of measure is each. And the base price that I want to use is 2,000. And I'm also going to set up a schedule to say that I want the delivery at a particular point in time. So let's say that we need the delivery by end of this week. So now we do have the purchase order already created. I am ready to go ahead and submit this. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a purchase order and it's going to generate that particular transaction that is going to be sent to my trading partner. So while this purchase order gets created and approved We will go back to Oracle integration in a second, and we will look at some of the runtime capabilities that we have added that enables you to monitor these transactions. So let's copy this over. So the order has been submitted for approval, and it's going to go through the auto approval steps. So now we looked at the design time capabilities in the context of B2B. Now let's look at the monitoring capabilities and some of the additional details around it. For the runtime capabilities, we have added B2B tracking, which fundamentally enables you to track any transactions that are going through the system. So if I change this to in retention period, you'll see other transactions here. So there are two areas for the platform here: business messages and wire messages. Business messages fundamentally enables you to track and monitor any of your business level transactions. So orders, invoices to that level, you would be able to see. And your business message or wire message enables you to see the actual payloads that are being exchanged with your trading partners. So now that I'm here in the business message, you can just see that the order that we created was sent out to ABC distribution over AS2. And we also received a successful MDN back. So let's look at the various capabilities for monitoring this in the context of the B2B message, the wire message here. So for every wire message or every payload that is exchanged over FTP or AS2, there is metadata that is shown to you as an operational user. So you can see the type of transport, the type of message will be indicated through a badge if needed, like MDN or FAs. The trading partner, what's the state? There are various states that we show based on the type of information or the type of, or the state of the transaction itself, as well as other metadata related to this. If I go into the eye icon here, you can see the different details, the primary information for this particular transaction. You can see all the properties for this particular transaction. What was the AS2 IDs, AS2 versions, what type of MDN was requested, what was if there was compression encryption, you will see all those information here. The message logs will enable you to see a lot more detail around what happened during the processing. So if you have error situations, you will have verbose logs here that will enable you to see what happened during that particular processing. The payloads gives you access to a lot of the information, including the raw data that was sent to your trading partner. So if you want to download it, that is easily accessible here as well. So this is the actual external transaction we sent to our partner for the laptop that we just ordered. And then correlations enables you to see the various other transactions that are connected as part of this overall orchestration. So for instance, the MDNs that were processed, the downstream or upstream business messages that were processed, and also the underlying integration instance that processed this particular transaction. You will be able to see that as well here. And these are all links. So if I click on the business message, it's going to take me to the actual business message that came from the ERP. So here I can see the various details on the business message. So this is the order. This is for the trading partner that we just set up. This is waiting for a functional acknowledgement to be sent back by my trading partner. You can see the order number that we just generated. So this is the order number we just created. And you can see, again, a lot more detail of this business message from the eye icon here. So you can see the various primary information, properties, message logs around how it was processed, and payloads around what this transaction and how it came from the ERP and how it was translated. Again, for the wire messages, for the business messages, you can see the different details as well as the correlations. This makes it easy for you to track a transaction all the way upstream or all the way downstream. So you don't have to go looking and searching using key metadata. You can just click on, let's say that I'm a technical user, I want to troubleshoot this particular integration. I can click on this particular integration instance and it's going to take me right there. Actually, I have an issue there. So let's do that again. So go to B2B tracking. I see my transaction. I go to my integration instance. So now I can see the integration instance. Here, I can see the technical details. I can see the logs, the activity stream if I want to see the details, all the payloads that were exchanged. If you have that enabled, you can see all that information here. And also, I can go into that particular integration or the execution of that integration to see exactly how it happened. So you can see that this is the backend integration that we talked about. And this particular integration went or processed this transaction all the way through. So as a technical user, your B2B operator can see some of the high-level details. But if you are a technical user, you want to go into the logs, you have an easy way of handling that particular interaction as well. So these logs are connected, and this new B2B tracking experience enables you to see all of that information very quickly and in a very simplistic manner. Also, the wire messages, if you have, let's say, an inbound batch of 6 purchase orders or 6 shipment notices that came in with the same payload, you will see one line item here, but during in the business messages, we will start to break it down all the way through. And so all the details, validation, and otherwise, you will be able to see that as part of this. So this is a very simple example of a 2-step integration flow, which enables you to, let's go back to our slide. So this is a simple demo which enables you to see an end-to-end integration. So we saw that the backend integration was already set up by our integrator. We were able to onboard our trading partner from scratch with AS2 and X12. And we were able to generate a purchase order and send it and receive the respective acknowledgements that we needed. So this is an example of how you would be able to handle and design B2B flows and combine them with your application integration backend flows and exchange information with your trading partners. Now, this is an example of a simple flow for outbound, but you are able to handle much more complex patterns as well with Oracle integration. So in a typical real life scenario, one of the things you would be able to do is when you receive or when you set up an integration with your trading partner, let's say through AS2, you may receive multiple transactions, say orders, invoices, shipments, order acknowledgements, whatever they may be. You may be receiving multiple types of transactions from your trading partner. You would be able to set up various styles of integration flows. In the second multi-transaction pattern at the bottom, you can see that I have multiple backend integrations. And you will be able to dynamically route your different transactions to those backend integrations, which enables you to handle different types of transactions, but still have the same trading partner connectivity, right? Same AS2 integration that you have. And you can still handle multiple types of documents with your trading partner and then send it to your ERP. These backend integrations is also where you would set up and manage your business logic. If you have custom mapping that is needed, you would be able to handle that and manage that separately. And all the power that Oracle integration provides as an iPaaS, you would be able to leverage as part of the design capability for your app integration. The same applies for outbound. So you may be able to set up an integration where you can have one backend ERP flow, which is generating orders for, let's say, multiple trading partners. You may have, and you can dynamically route it to different B2B integrations based on various metadata. So this dynamic routing is something that will enable you to have much more complex setup, but then reuse integrations wherever applicable, so that you have a lot of flexibility on how you would design and maintain your design patterns as part of Oracle integration. So that's an overview of the B2B capabilities as part of Oracle integration. That was the demo walkthrough, the design time, runtime, as well as an end-to-end setup experience of setting up a partner, generating that from ERP Cloud with collaboration messaging, and then getting that to your trading partner. So let's recap. Let's go through an overview and summary and a recap of some of the capabilities that we saw, and we will open it up for questions. So as a summary, as part of the B2B capabilities that are available as part of Oracle integration, you have access and ability to all the capabilities that Oracle integration provides in the context of an app integration, right? So you will be able to combine the power of the application integration capabilities as well as now set up your B2B flows in a easy manner. It also enables multiple personas in your organization to collaborate. So your integration or the backend app integration could be set up by your integration developer, and your B2B trading partners could be onboarded by your support persona or a B2B onboarding persona or even a business user. So some of the prerequisites that you would need to set up or you would need to know about: transport. You can set up your transport for your trading partner or even the ERP as along with the connections page. So we are leveraging a lot of the adapters that are already available there, which provides you a lot of flexibility. The schemas enable you to customize if you have customization requirements. This is not a mandatory step if you're using standards, but you do have the flexibility if you need to. The documents that you will create, the app integrations that you can create, and the backend integration itself are some of the other prerequisite steps where your integration developer can complete some of these ahead of time, which makes life simpler as part of the onboarding process. The transport connection is set up through the connections page within Oracle integration. Some of the details, including for the AS2 FTP adapters, are provided here. The schemas itself, we walk through how you would be able to customize and create schemas. And by being able to create those schemas, you can meet some of your trading partners' requirements. The B2B documents is the other capability that we walk through, which enables you to customize some of the details and create metadata for tracking purposes. And the backend app integration is the one that we saw where we used ERP Cloud for modeling these. And once you have some of these prerequisites done, you can now onboard one-to-end trading partners and reuse some of your integrations and connectivity that is already set up. So we walk through the host profile, which is where you would define all your company's identifiers and information. We walk through the trading partner setup screens where you can declaratively create and onboard your trading partner transports and agreement. You can set up your transports for AS2 and FTP from this particular screen. And inbound and outbound agreements enables you to set up transactions with your trading partners on both directions. So all the details, all the related documentation are provided here as well, which makes it simple for you to leverage these. And finally, we are providing specific support for B2B operator as a persona. So once your transactions are live and they are going through the system, you can see all the views in a specialized manner where we reconcile the transactions such as acknowledgements, business messages, wire messages automatically for you. And you can see all the details for business messages or wire messages easily from the operational UIs as part of Oracle integration and the B2B capabilities we provide. To recap and summarize, we have simplified the overall steps required for you to onboard a persona or onboard a trading partner in Oracle integration with B2B. We have simplified it to around 8 steps where one of the steps which is a schema is also optional, but the experience itself is simplified and it also enables multiple personas to collaborate to onboard your end-to-end transactions with your trading partners. With that, I will go to the last slide. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and there is more information coming on the training. So Jürgen, with that, I'll stop sharing and hand it off back to you.
Arvind, thank you very much for the excellent introduction and the wonderful demo. So before we come to the question and answer, and you still can post your questions in the Q&A tool, and Arvind, you can take a look. Please follow us on the call to action. If you're not yet a member in the partner communities, please register now. The partner communities update you on a monthly basis with the newsletter and the webcast. And if you would like to learn more about B2B, the documentation is available and there are also some starter guides. So I can highly recommend that. Make sure you watch our on-demand launch webcasts, the platform webcast and the Connect and Extend SaaS webcast with Suhas Ulia. And please also, today's webcast was recorded and the recording will be published at Oracle Video Hub. You can visit Video Hub at bit.ly/watch-community. And with each recording, we attach the presentations. If we can't answer your question today, please join our Slack channel at bit.ly/askoic, and we will continue to support you through the Slack channel, and there you also can collaborate. So Arvind, we have a lot of questions. The first one comes from Parmod, and he would like to know if Oracle B2B is already available in OIC and if it requires a separate license or subscription.
Yeah, so great question. So Oracle B2B is available as part of the Enterprise Edition. So if you already have Enterprise Edition with you, you would be able to see that capability already. So if you have access to your Oracle integration instance and navigate to the left panel, you should see the B2B capabilities there. And as I mentioned, it's part of the Enterprise Edition.
Wonderful. And Harish has a lot of questions. First of all, do we support AS4 standard already?
With Oracle integration, not yet. That is that adapter for AS4 is something on our roadmap. So more details to come later on that.
Okay. And what about to add certificates and?
Yeah, so we do enable you to support or manage your certificates. So within Oracle integration, we have certificate manager that is where you would set up private keys, public keys. Once you set that up in the certificate manager, you would be able to leverage that from within the connection screen or from within the trading partner transport setup that we just saw today. So that is already available, and we are happy to share documentation on how you would be able to leverage Cert Manager there.
Okay. Is there a plan to add IBM MQ also? Is a question from Bashi.
So IBM MQ, that's a question on the adapter team. I don't have the answer for what's the roadmap plans for that, but we can definitely get back to you.
Okay, and then we have a question for Kishore. For the business event setup, if it's required, and there was a question, Kishore, for you also on the ERP adapter.
Was that for Kishore?
Yeah, I think we lost Kishore. Kishore, are you with us? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just repeat the question? Sorry, I missed it.
So there is one question regarding the business event setup. If we can support it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, so I did answer the question. So the event setup will not change. It will be the same way we are doing the business events. So, and another update is since starting May release, the CSF key creation is not required, right? So we use the token mechanism behind the scenes to subscribe to the events from ERP Cloud. So that's one thing you don't need to worry about. And other setup related details like adding the required roles to the integration account, ERP integration account still remains the same. So that's all part of the documentation, well documented in this.
Wonderful.
Again, there is one question here. I don't know if Garrett is on the panelist, but there is a question on setting up the supplier on ERP Cloud.
Yes, Garrett, can you hear us?
Yes, I am on the phone. I did not see that question though. What does the question say exactly?
Yeah, I can read it out. So it says, can you please talk about the trading partner setup for the supplier in ERP Cloud?
Oh, okay. Well, basically the setup process is, number one, you have to set up a supplier using procurement. So the Oracle Procurement Cloud, you would go through the standard process of setting up any other supplier, whether or not you're going to communicate via EDI or not. And then the additional step that is required to do EDI is there is a section in the supplier site. So it's still within, manage supplier tasks, but in supplier site, there's a section where you can configure all of your B2B settings. And that's really the setup process that is required as far as suppliers as trading partners go.
Great, thanks, Garrett. And Shonad, if you want to reach out offline, we are happy to help.
Arvind, feel free to point out any other good question which is the benefit for the whole audience.
Yeah, I can go through a couple of other questions. So can we connect to B2B artifacts which are on-prem using connectivity agent? So Krishna, the short answer is yes. So you will be able to leverage connectivity agent with Oracle integration. So if you have resources like databases, files, or other assets sitting on-prem, you would be able to leverage the connectivity agent as, similar to how you would leverage it for any app integration, right? So the way you would use it, as part of your backend application flow or the backend integration flow that you would set up, you can use your connectivity agent to get and send information to that particular asset, and you would be able to then use the B2B integration flows to exchange information with your trading partners. So the overall design pattern on how you would be able to leverage connectivity agent does not change. It'll remain the same. And you would be able to use that in conjunction with the B2B capabilities that you have with our integration. And and feel free to reach out if you need any more details around the same. There is a question on the billing model for B2B. So it's still based on message packs. So that overall billing model of using message packs does not change with B2B. The overall transactions and the message pack based model will apply for B2B as well. I think those were all the questions that I noted. Or again, anything that I'm missing?
Yeah, there's one more question regarding B2B and blockchain, if it can be connected.
Yes, it can be, but we would be definitely interested in understanding more about the use case in this case. If you're able to reach out to us, that'll be great.
So Jose, welcome to the Accenture team, and please reach out to Arvind. If you have further questions, you can contact Arvind or myself, and please make use of the Slack channel. And please ask also your Oracle partner manager to support you locally. And as we started the new fiscal year, it's a good time to sit down and create a joint business plan and also a training and certification plan. We would like to say thank you for everybody for attending, and thanks to Steve in the studio. We hope you enjoyed another Past Partner Community webcast. Please complete your online survey once you leave the session. And the next community webcast will take place on August 31st, and Michael Miner will give us an update on adapters. If you enjoyed the webcast, please let us know via Twitter, #PastCommunity. Thanks for attending. Thank you, Arvind, for presenting. Thank you, Kishore, Sunil, and Garrett for the Q&A support. And we are looking forward to welcome you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.